What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Fantasy Football Game Show brought to you by Front Yard Fantasy here on Better Sports Network. I'm your host, Simon, joined as always by my co-hosts, John Luke Garofalo and Joey Wright. And joining us today, we have a special guest, Heath Cummings, here with us. For those of you that do not know Heath, he's a fantasy sports writer over at CBS Sports, an analyst on the Fantasy Football Today podcast, and host of the Fantasy Football Today Dynasty Show, and one of our great friends. Heath, thank you so much for taking the time to come and hang out with us.
I thought Craig's comment was going to be my introduction. Today's guest is making his fifth appearance on Front Yard Fantasy, and he is undefeated. Thank you.
I don't know for sure, Heath, but that might be the most wins without a loss of guests. It's got to be up there as far as wins without a loss. We have some impressive records on the show, but not many undefeated records above 3 wins sitting out here.
I have to tell you the truth. I honestly fully believe that you guys just let the guest win. Until I asked Dave on air one time, and Dave said, "Oh no, I lost." So I was like, "Yes."
We tried to let him win, but he just wouldn't let us do it.
The best part about that conversation is, without meaning to, you insulted Dave Richard. You got to look him in the face and be like, "Yeah," and they just let everybody win. He was like, "Well, I didn't win." We got some more people in the chat ready for today's show. Albert down here saying, "Hello, everyone." What's up, Albert? Welcome.
What up, Albert?
Dustin saying hashtag Team Joey. Joey, does it feel good having Dustin come in every day with a hashtag Team Joey?
It's the pump up I need every day. He came in there yesterday and gave it to me, and I got a little too pumped up, but today I'm focused. Yesterday I was big headed. Today focused, completely focused.
One loss this game to start the week, and Joey's coming in as a new man. Dustin down, he's saying great crew today. I agree. We got a great crew today. Mm-hmm. Also, Craig saying Jake Seeley is 5-0. I know he is higher, so you can tie Jake Seeley today, Heath. Also, yeah, there's an asterisk next to that one.
Jake Seeley is a big fat cheater. Don't believe anything he says.
So I'm Babe Ruth and he's Barry Bonds.
Perfect analogy. Just don't tell Corey Parson, because then he'll tell you Babe Ruth is not real. That is his go-to line. I've heard him tell that story 1,000 times. We got Scampers in here with the good afternoon, FYF fam, and Heath. What's up, Scampers? So Dame down here saying, hello, all. What's up, Dame? Glad to have you in here. And Dave, one of our favorite Canadians, stopping in to say hi with the team, Simon, always and forever. What's up, Dave? Scampers also saying, if Heath wins, how will he top Dave's Will Levis celebration? Heath, you have a celebration in mind for today's victory?
Did Dave drink coffee with mayo in it?
No, it's better.
Did he ate
took a bite out of the middle of the banana.
Yeah. Okay, fantastic. No, I don't have any top for that, but I'll think of something. Who knows what's going to happen today?
Who knows? Anything could happen. Even we could play poll perception, which is the play-in, guys. Before we get into that, though, a couple reminders. First and foremost, if you're not following our friend Heath, go and follow him on Twitter right now at Heath Cummings Sr. It's not where Joey pointed, but it is below.
I noticed that as I was pointing.
It is below the video in the description, whether you're watching on Front Yard Fantasy or on YouTube. And make sure you tune in tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time for a half PPR mock draft on the CBS Fantasy Football, or joining the CBS Fantasy Football Today crew and our Joey Wright. So that's going to be tonight at 8 p.m. Heath did not know he signed up for a double Joey show day, but he's getting it a little bit here on Front Yard Fantasy, and then tonight at 8 p.m. on the CBS Fantasy Football Today crew mock drafts.
Keep your shoes on.
You cannot promise that.
Does that wait? Does that mean I need to go put some on right now then? Because I don't have my shoes on.
Joey, I just want to remind you that we have exclusive rights to your feet before you go onto these other shows. So,
or we will sue everybody.
If you do, there will be litigation afterwards.
They did ask me if I was wearing the hat, and I said no, I won't be wearing the hat tonight.
It's the hat or everything else you get to pick. Well, guys, after you follow Heath, head on back over here where you're watching on YouTube, whether you're on the Front Yard Fantasy channel or that BSN channel, hit the follow button, the subscribe button, and then make sure you hit the notification bell so you don't miss us live every day at 3 p.m. Eastern time, doing nothing but playing games like the one we're about to play today, which is the game of poll perception. And John Luke Garofalo is going to be running it for us. I'm going to explain the rules, hand it off to him, and then sit back and try to beat Heath and Joey. My last performance was a 2-point outing. So I have a lot to prove in this game. People are watching. 2 games in a row, and it's no longer just a fluke, it's a trend. The game today is all about how well you know the public's perception of fantasy football or NFL players. Before the show, JL collected 7 of the most interesting, juicy, and succulent polls available on the internet. He's going to pose one of those polls to a contestant. He may ask me, hey, Simon, what percentage of people chose Saquon Barkley over DeAndre Hopkins in a dynasty league? I'm going to guess on the Saquon Barkley side, the first option, side A always, the percentage that I think chose Saquon. The closer I am to the actual percentage, the more points I'm going to get, up to a max of 10 if I'm exactly right, 1 if I'm 15 away. It's going to scale up within that range. Now, the other 2 contestants will have an opportunity to score points while I guess as well. Before the answer is revealed, you're going to have to choose whether you think the actual percentage is over, under, or exactly the same as the answer that I have chosen. Get it right, you're going to earn 2 points. Or if you hit the exact same, the queen bee, as we like to call it, you're going to get 10 points as well as the person who guessed it. We'll go like this through 6 polls until we get to our 7th and final poll, where there's no more of that over-under nonsense. It is all about writing down the number. Everybody's going to be guessing the percentage, and whoever is the closest will earn 5 points unless they hit it right on the head, in which case they will get 10. And the tradition of me not informing the guests they need pencil and paper is alive and well, baby. So, Heath, you have about 50 minutes to figure out a creative solution to writing down a number.
You saw me looking for a pen, noticing that I did not have one, but I have a phone.
Perfect. That is what Joey goes to each and every week. Nail polish has been used, glitter glue. My W key is still stuck from that incident.
God, that was such a bad idea.
That was such a bad idea.
Sometimes
But
people write it on their feet.
sometimes people write it on their feet.
It's true.
With that being said, John Luke, I'm going to hand this off to you. You're running this game today. What order are we going in?
All right, the order today will be Joey, starting off with our first poll, followed by Heath, followed by Simon. Before we get into this game, we had a question comment in the chat I want to bring up. Craig said a quick perusal of the records does show that 5-0 is the highest undefeated record, so Heath will tie that with a win today.
We are trying so hard to jinx you, Heath. We
Super
are giving it our best.
It's now or never, man.
Has anyone ever gotten 0? Because that's what I'm feeling like I'm going to get right now.
Probably Simon.
Oh, yeah.
Probably Simon. All right. The order, as I said, was Joey, followed by Heath, followed by Simon. Joey, ready for your first poll?
Yes, I am ready for my first poll.
All right. That is exactly what I like to hear. Here's your first poll. Is Mike Evans going to be the top 20 fantasy wide receivers this year? I said that's so weird. Is he going to be among the top 20 fantasy wide receivers this year? Yes or no? What percentage of the public chose yes, he will be among the top 20 fantasy wide receivers this year?
The public, I would say, from what I've seen, is kind of down on Mike Evans. And I would say across the industry, they're a little bit down on him too. So I think the public kind of reflects that a little bit. I think Baker coming in, I don't think it's an understatement that he might be a downgrade from Tom Brady, even though Brady wasn't the greatest version of Brady that we saw last year. I'm going to say he's had 1,000 receiving yards, 9 straight seasons. I bought the jersey, so there must be something in that. Let's go 37% said yes.
37%. Locking that in?
Oh,
yeah, I feel good about that number.
Great.
Okay, 37% locked in. Heath, do you think the actual percentage people that chose side A in this poll was over, under, or exactly even with Joey's guess of 37%?
Well, I know that if I had posted this poll, it would definitely be under, because I touted DJ Moore all year last year, and Baker Mayfield killed everyone that tailed that. And so they are staying away from Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. I still think it's going to be under. I'll take under.
All right, Heath locking in the under. Simon, do you think the actual percentage is over or under Joey's guess of 37%?
I feel like people have been searching for a reasonable reason to discount Mike Evans' production for the last 4 years, and Baker Mayfield is a reasonable reason. So everybody who's done it anyways, and Mike Evans has proved him wrong, is going to vote no on this poll. I think it's under as well.
All right, the double under. Reverse split the room, Joey. That 37% guess. We got some guesses in the chat. We got 31% from Scampers. 31% from Dame. There's some cheating going on in the chat. 35% from Craig. Queen Bee from Grim. 25% from Toronto Dave. And 47% from Dustin. 20% from Albert. They're all over the place. Within 20 and 50%. All right, let me pull up the poll. Is Mike Evans going to be among the top 20 fantasy wide receivers this year? Joey, you said 37% chose side A. Heath and Simon, you both chose the under.
Come on.
The actual percentage of people who chose yes in this poll was 26%.
Okay. Oh, that was great. It locked Joey out of the 10-point range, and me and Heath are scoring.
I like it.
Yeah, Joey, you were 11 percentage points away, which is going to give you 1 point. And then Heath and Simon, you correctly guessed the over-under, which is going to give you 2 points each. Well done. Well done.
I'll take it.
I wanted to ask what you guys think about this Buccaneers offense. It feels like the conversation has been around Baker, Kyle Trask, or people talking about Chris Godwin. What can fantasy managers realistically expect from this Buccaneers offense this season?
Pain.
Lots of pain.
I think you hope that Kyle Trask improves a lot and can be like mediocre. The hardest thing about judging Evans and Godwin is that they have existed in a system the past 3 years that throws the ball 750 times a season. There's no chance they're going to do that with Baker Mayfield or Kyle Trask. They might throw it 550 times. And so I just think like this, it's not just that the quarterback play is going to be so much worse. There's also going to be like 25% fewer opportunities.
I also don't think this is the environment or the type of team that Baker Mayfield could find moderate success on. The dude needs a steady situation around him, a above average offensive line. Otherwise, he goes into hero ball mode, and he does not have the skills for hero ball mode. That's when mistakes start happening. When Patrick Mahomes gets flushed out of the pocket, it's magic. When Baker Mayfield gets flushed out of the pocket, it's the exact opposite that happens. It was rough for Tom Brady back there last year. I expected it to be rough for Baker Mayfield, and this might be Mike Evans' first season under 1,000 receiving yards.
Yep. As the Buccaneers fan, I feel like the only time I'm going to find joy watching them play next season is when they wear the throwback uniforms. Outside of that, I don't think there's much for me to look forward to.
And you're going to tape over the score at the bottom.
As a fan,
the defense is good though. Yeah.
As a fan, if they get to like 2-7, 2-8, are you the kind of guy that can start cheering for a draft pick?
I want Caleb Williams now. Can I get him now? Is that possible? Like, are there rules against that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So I think Joey's answer was, I'm not above cheering for my team to lose for a draft pick.
I am not either.
The game, right? It's the rules of the game.
Yeah.
Operate within. We had a question here in the chat. From a friend in the chat said, "How do Americans react to ultra football fans in Europe and South America? And if all Americans have heard of such fans, do they know how crazy they are?" I think Americans love it.
Yeah.
From what I could tell. Yeah, we have our international games every season, which are always a good time. I love seeing all of the cacophony of, that's not the right word, cacophony of jerseys in the crowd. I feel like you don't get that in any American stadium.
Yeah, we had our family, not my immediate family, but extended family, had a foreign exchange student last year from Germany who was a really big Chiefs fan, and my family is all from Kansas City, so that was a really neat experience, I think, for him and for us.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. We got Nicholas in the chat said, "When should Kyler go in dynasty startups?" Heath, were you pulling the trigger on Kyler? How far does he have to fall?
Well, I've been a part of 2 dynasty mocks and 1 startup in the last week, and it is a wide range. I've seen him go anywhere from round 6 to falling all the way to round 10, and talking about super flex, of course. I took him in round 6. I feel like it's a pretty good spot.
After the guys with some safety but the same upside, like a Tua Tagovailoa, I'm taking ahead of Kyler Murray. But maybe when it gets to the Daniel Jones tier, I'm thinking about it, right? There's a little bit more security with Daniel Jones right now, but I do think Kyler Murray's the higher upside player. So that's around where that line is for me.
And I think Kyler's a lot better pick if you've gone really young and you're not necessarily all in on winning at year 1. If you're winning at year 1, even Daniel Jones is probably better than Kyler.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the Kyler pick in Dynasty if you don't need it. Like that's a great call out, Heath, because he is talented, right? And that's what we want to see in Dynasty is capture that talent and hope the situation will change over time. All right, so let's get into our next poll here. This one is yours, Heath. You ready?
No.
Perfect. Just how we like it. Is Jonathan Taylor going to play in week 1? Yes or no? Can you? The public chose yes in this poll.
Can I get a date on this poll, please?
I can absolutely give you a date on this poll. This poll is from July 31st at 11 a.m. So presumably after the news.
Country of origin?
I cannot tell you.
Switzerland.
I'm having a hard time separating what the public may think from what I may think. I think Jonathan Taylor probably plays week 1. I just don't understand how any running back could look at the market the way that it is and think, yeah, what I should really do is give up some guaranteed money right now because I will definitely be able to earn that back in the future. I don't think there is any future. I'm going to go with 75%.
75% on side A, correct?
Correct. That was yes, right?
Yes. Yes, that is the yes one. All right, 75%. Locking that in, Heath?
I am.
All right. Simon, I think the actual percentage is over, under, or exactly even with Heath's guess of 75%.
Do rational minds prevail here, or does everybody panic because of the news that dropped yesterday? The most likely outcome is he plays week 1, especially with, I forget who pointed it out in the chat yesterday, but looked into it afterwards. There's serious penalties if they do hold out. So I'm going to say over. I'm going to say more people said yes, he plays week 1, and that more rational minds will prevail here among the voters.
All right, locking in the over. Joey, you think the actual percentage is over, under, exactly even with Heath's guess of 75% on side A?
I don't know if Twitter or X, as they're calling it these days, is the most rational place to be. So I'm actually going to take well, lots of reasons. Big strobing signs in the sky. I don't know. I'm going to say that the number is actually under. I think people are panicking a little bit.
All right. Joey, you're going to lock in the under, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. We got some guesses here in the chat. We got 63% from Albert, 58% from Dave, 72% from Scampers, 64% from Dame, 68% from Craig, 100% from Grimfan. Very confident. So yes on that one. All right, to refresh you all, 75% is what Heath guessed is the percent that chose side A in this poll. Is Jonathan Taylor going to play week 1? Yes, he is. He thinks 75% of people chose side A. Simon thinks more than 75% chose side A, and Joey thinks less than that. The actual percentage of people who chose yes in this poll was...
Beat my score from last week.
41%.
Nope.
What?
40.
Nope.
1%.
Wow.
I just imagine Elon does that everywhere he goes. Every time.
Wow.
What's up, Elon here?
41%.
I don't agree with them, but that's
don't agree?
low.
Heath, you seem shocked by that number.
I shouldn't be. No, I don't think I've ever gotten a question wrong on this show before. And so I'm trying to figure out how to deal with that.
That's it. Embrace the spiral. Lean into it, Heath.
I understand it's more fun or enticing whenever you're exploring these stories mentally to go down the path of he's not going to play. He's going to hold out. Him and you're going to say hate each other and it's never going to work. It's a business. They're both making decisions, releasing information that benefits their side in these conversations. And the best running back in football will probably play week 1.
Like 41% would make more sense to me if the words for the Colts was added. Like if we were factoring in a potential trade, but this was for anyone, right? Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah, you're right. It doesn't specify in the poll.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe that's what they were thinking. They're just not the best poll writers. I don't know. But yeah, it's a good call out.
Maybe some people read for the Colts in there. Also, I saw our friend NKC in the chat come in with a couple questions. Wanted to know if we've done our QB tiers list yet. They asked whenever we did our wide receiver ones. We have not done our redraft quarterbacks tier list, but keep an eye on our YouTube channel. We may release that as a video as we approach the season here. But no promises. Haven't scheduled that far ahead.
Yeah, the 41% I think tells me something. Go see if that Jonathan Taylor manager or whoever drafts Jonathan Taylor, go as it leads up to the season, go see if they're getting a little queasy. They're getting a little weary, and then go make an offer. Because again, it's the same situation that we talked about before. There's talent. Go and target those players, and don't worry about the situation ambiguity.
Yep. And if you have Jonathan Taylor, hold tight.
Oh, yeah.
Do not trade and accept the offers from the people we just sent to send them to you.
Yeah, you got Jim Irsay. You can't blame him for that. We got One Nation Underground. He say, "What up?
What up, One Nation?
Welcome in. Welcome in." All right, Heath. Unfortunately, you are more than 15 percentage points away, so you're not going to get any points on this one. But don't fret, because Simon's right there with you. He incorrectly gets the over/under, getting 0 points. Joey, you're going to get the lone points here. 2 points for correctly guessing the over/under. Well done.
Thank you.
I'm just hoping I got an early jump here with 2 points, and I'm hoping I don't plateau out and stay here the rest of the game, because that'll be an even worse way to earn. That'll be a more demotivating way to end at 2 than to like be at 0 the whole time and get 2. Will be to start at 2 and then never do anything.
Yeah, man, and that'll just be 2 weeks in a row. You'd be eating up. All right, Simon, we're getting into your poll. You ready?
Let's do it.
This one's yours. How would you approach Travis Etienne being the RB14 in fantasy drafts? Draft him there all day or avoid him at all costs? Percentage of the public chose draft him there all day.
I wish there was option C, toil over drafting him at that spot, but ultimately draft a different player because the value doesn't quite make sense given his situation with the Jaguars. But there's not. And I think while the Travis Etienne hype train was barreling on early in the season, it got carried away and people started getting pissy about it. It's when a hype train gets a little too hype, the people on the outside looking in start screaming, and then you get people jumping off, and it becomes absolute pandemonium as the value just collapses on a player around what was an elevated value anyways. I think this is going to be pretty heavy on the B side. People have thrown around that, like, at best, like in games where he was the lead guy last year, he was an RB17. So this is above where he finished last year. And they added a rookie in the draft. I'm trying to decide just how low, and I'm wondering how much more I can stall before I give that number. We'll go with 27%, 24% said draft him there all day.
24% said draft him there all day. You locking that in?
Let's lock it in.
All right, it's locked in. Joey, the actual percentage that chose side A, over, under, or exactly even with Simon's guess of 24%.
I think Simon said an excellent line. He's correct. Travis Etienne, RB17 last year. He's taking his RB14 now. I don't like that value whatsoever. Oh, Billy. Simon, you said a really, really good line. I'm really tempted to queen bee it. I'm going to go slightly under.
Call me Good Line Simon.
Good line, Simon.
I've never heard anybody call you that, Simon.
Hanging out with the wrong people.
Yeah,
this is true.
Got to hang out with other people. All right, Joe, you locking in the under?
Yes.
All right, Heath, you think the actual percentage is over, under, or exactly even with Simon's guess of 24% on side A?
My original guess was 37%. I mean, obviously he's going at RB14, so at least a certain percentage of people think he should be going that high.
Great thing.
So I'm going to go with the over.
That's a really good point. Damn.
Going with the over using simple logic. Man, who would have thunk? Who would have thunk? All right, we got some guesses here in the chat. We got 49% from Toronto Dave. I think that's the first guess here. We got 22% from Scampers, 19% from One Nation, 38% from Grim, 35% from Craig. Albert with 27%, NKC with 700%.
ETN fan, I see.
Yeah, big ETN fan. And I believe that's it. All right. Simon, you guess 24% of people chose side A, that they would draft Travis Etienne all day.
Allow logic to fail and my answer to be correct.
Joey chose under. Heath chose over. The actual percentage of people who chose side A in this poll was 71%.
What?
Wow.
There is no way. 71%.
I thought I missed by a lot.
Yeah. And then Simon said,
I'm not even mad because that feels absolutely absurd that 71% of people said that. Maybe what Heath said is true, but also the more I think about the fact that he's getting drafted, there doesn't require any more than around 8.5% of people to value him at RB14. If we're assuming 12-man leagues, right? Because just one person in the league has to put him that high. But this draft cost obviously says otherwise.
Right.
It's nuts. Heath, are you taking him?
Yeah, how you feeling about Travis Etienne's?
I probably overvalue the fact that he went to college with Trevor Lawrence. I don't.
Oh, me too.
I think Tank Bigsby's going to come in and take the early down Jamal Williams role. I think Etienne's good enough to score from outside of the red zone and will probably be the primary pass catching back. I think RB14 is perfectly fine. I'm not smashing him at that cost, but I'm not avoiding it all.
So maybe you'd be on option C with me. Consider it at that spot, but probably ultimately not draft him because there's other players with more value at that point in the draft.
I don't think, I've done quite a few of these Twitter polls, and I don't think that fits as one of the options. I think you're going to have to shorten that option just a little bit.
I'll work on it. I'll workshop it and get back to you.
Joey, how you feel about that? You're down on Travis Etienne, if I'm not mistaken.
I
right?
was.
You're
I was high on
him.
I am because there's this weird little thing about Tank Bigsby leading Auburn in receptions last year, and it's what?
Go ahead.
So it's kind of ringing in my ear a little bit, and I don't know how to grasp on that. And so 14 is high. If he finished 17 last year, I'm a little out on that value.
That's fair. You guys expect Trevor Lawrence to take a step up this year in that Doug Peterson offense, second year of that Doug Peterson offense?
Yes, but not as much as ADP seems to think.
What do you think is the difference? Like, what are you seeing that
I think people are expecting a Joe Burrow leap. And I just think that's Burrow and Herbert both had shown us more by this point in their career before they made that leap. And so I think he's going to be a low end starter. But I still would say that if Tua plays 17 games, I think Tua outscores him.
I think that's fair. I think a lot of maybe the hype is coming from, again, I know it's not a second year quarterback, but it's a second year in the system quarterback, adding a wide receiver one to the offense. We've seen that formula work over and over again recently, and now we're trying it. They did a mini version of it last year with Christian Kirk. We're seeing if we can do it with Calvin Ridley and with DJ Moore for Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence this year, get him to that next level.
The biggest argument I hear for him is that he is a second year quarterback because you don't count Urban Meyer years.
That's fair. I think that's 100% fair to just cross those off the resume.
Yeah.
Or you just multiply all his good stats by 1.5 and multiply all his bad stats by 0.5 and then just let those go into the
urban bump.
The urban bump, yeah.
Yeah. It's problematic. Grim Fan in here with a question before we get into our next poll. He's asking, happy MLB trade deadline, bro. Chachos. Thoughts on the Raiders releasing OJ Howard? Any fantasy value for him?
My dynasty rosters would make you think that he has quite a bit of fantasy value. But probably not. It just continues to not work over and over and over again, whichever team he's on.
What do you think? Do you think there'll be a day where OJ Howard bask in the sunlight?
I mean, he's probably almost 30 by now, isn't he? I think it's probably time. Probably. I mean, and that's the thing. He was on the Raiders, who I think have Austin Hooper also, and drafted Michael Mayer. It's not as if OJ Howard was actually going to matter on the Raiders.
Right.
Just maybe good for a week 1-2 touchdown game to get all our hopes up before dashing them yet again.
Chocolate chip. I'm asking a question I also asked myself. Joe, you said rain in your ear?
I said ringing in my ear, but then there was a sound in my ear. That's why I went, what?
Oh,
yeah, sometimes I just hear
rain
stuff.
In your ear.
No, there's rain outside though. It's raining.
It's really lots of thunder here. I'm surprised you guys haven't heard it yet. It's lots and lots of thunder.
I just thought that was his stomach and I was being polite.
All right, let's get into our second round of polls. Before we do, Simon's got a new mechanic to introduce.
Yeehaw! Joey loves when we introduce a new mechanic. Everyone, this is Greg. He'll be fixing your automobile today. And the new rule for the game that we have involves your guesses. Instead of just over, under, and queen bee, there are now two new options you can choose as well. They would have come into play a couple times last round had they been used. The options are way over and way under. What this means is you think your opponent's guess is more than 15 percentage points away. That is 16 or more, not inclusive of that 15. So if you guess this, though, it is a double or nothing mechanic. It has to be outside of that range. And if it is, you're going to get 4 points instead of the normal 2. But if you guess way over and it's only 14 percentage points over, heck, even 15 percentage points over, you're going to get 0 points because way over is not true there. So use it as you might to get ahead or mount a comeback here, but it requires a bad guess from your opponent.
All right, Joey, this next poll is yours. You ready?
I'm going to put it together this round. I really am.
All right, promises. Will Bijan Robinson outperform Saquon Barkley's rookie season? Yes, RB1 season incoming, or no, Saquon is the benchmark. What percentage of the public chose side A? Yes, RB1 season incoming.
So I'm going to give 4% of the vote to all Giants fans that will just automatically vote no. So that leaves 96% on side A.
Locking that in?
No. I'm not done doing the math yet. This is an equation that we're going to work out live together. Why I stall? I think it's going to be 50-50. But I do want to give a slight edge to side B. So I'll say 47% side A.
47% side A. Locking that in?
Yes.
All right.
I'm hoping that people didn't read this poll the way I read it at first, that will Bijan Robinson outperform Saquon Barkley, and they missed the word rookie and they say season, and I'm hoping nobody skips over that word.
You're hoping people selectively omitted the word rookie.
Yes.
While reading this.
I'm hoping they didn't.
X gives and X takes away, Joey. Just remember that.
Daddy X. All right. You think the actual percentage at show side A in this poll was over, under, way under, or exactly even with Joey's guess of 47%?
47% puts me in a tough spot because I was thinking somewhere between 60 and 67, and 62 would be the difference between over and way over. I have not seen anyone say anything negative about Bijan Robinson the entire offseason. It's just like, I think his consensus ranking might be like RB4 now. And so I would assume that over half of people think he's going to be the RB1. So I definitely am going over. I'm currently in first place. Is that right?
That is correct. Yes, it is 3-4-2. You are in first place.
Well, I'm just going to go over.
Just the normal over. Just, regular or run-of-the-mill over. Your bland, generic. Plain,
way over.
8x11. Way over.
Whoa.
It does have to be 63, not 62.
Oh, never mind.
Okay.
Just wanted to let you know that extra number.
Oh, never mind. As soon as there was a little bit more of a barrier, it was hard now. So just over,
correct? Just over. Yeah, regular over.
Locking in the regular old over. Simon, the actual percentage was over, under, way under, or exactly even with Joey's guess of 47%.
What if my math is wrong? 62 actually is in the range. That's the correct answer, and way over would have been it. And I completely fudged Keith out of 2 points here.
All's fair in poll perception. That's the famous quote.
Well, Heath, I think you lay out some good reasoning there, but I wonder just how many grumpuses are that are like, until we see it on an NFL field, Saquon Barkley's the benchmark. Talent doesn't always translate to the NFL.
Oh,
it's a lot to ask of a rookie.
Was this a Facebook poll?
No, but some of those Facebook people have found their way over to X as we speak. I'm trying to figure out how many of them snuck in here. I'll take there's a lot of grumpy people, but I'm going to take the over with Heath here. Around 50-50 is what I was thinking. So I'll take the 50-50 over.
All right. Double over on Joey's guess of 47%. And we got some guesses in the chat. 49% from Dave, 55% from Grim, 87.8% from One Nation Underground, 0% from NKC, 65% from Craig, 50% from Chocolate Chip. Oh, I just got that name. I had to say I think I said it before and I didn't even get it. Chocolate chip.
I want that cookie.
That's a fire name. Excellent. Mr. Scampers with 69% and Albert 54%. All right, let's pull this poll back up.
Low.
Will Bijan Robinson outperform Saquon Barkley's rookie season? Side A is yes, RB1 season incoming. Side B is no, Saquon is the benchmark. Joey, you guessed 47% chose side A in this poll.
Oh, God, that's exactly right, isn't it?
Both Heath and Simon chose the over. They think the actual percentage is over 47%. And I'm here to tell you, the actual percentage of this poll was 66%. Joey,
I screwed you out of 2 points.
Yeah.
I should have just stayed quiet. But now I got a chance.
So, yeah, the way over would have hit on this one on Joey's guess is outside of 15 percentage points. Means Joey not going to get any points on this one. Sorry about that.
It's okay. It's okay.
But Simon and Heath, each of you are going to get 2 points. So well done. Well done. Could have been 4.
Chocolate chip with the poor Heath in here, and Twin came in with the late guess. IDK the question, but 59, pretty good.
59, yeah.
Not
pretty
bad.
good. That's better than I did.
Joey, yeah.
Heath, you mentioned that no one out there is talking poorly or talking ill of Bijan Robinson. What are your realistic expectations about his finish this season? Can he live up to that?
I don't actually think so. And I think doing projections and being the guy, my rankings are not my projections, but they're at least based on my projections. And a lot of times that makes you the naysayer on the super hyped up rookies. And it's not any fun because I think I don't have anything bad to say about Bijan. I think he's an absolute stud. I'm super excited for him, but I do think there will be enough sharing, and this might just still be a bad offense. So I've got him at 1,700 yards and 10 touchdowns and RB8. So I'm not going to get any Bijan unless I just go reach for him. But I'm not going to be taking him with a top 5 or 6 pick like it seems like you have to.
I think when you put numbers like that to it, it makes it seem so much more reasonable to have him at 7 or 8, right? You're not calling for a bad season. You're calling for an incredible season from a rookie running back in a terrible offense where 10 touchdowns from anybody would be like a godsend. Like what you're saying is that he's going to do better than every single player on the Falcons last season and then some for fantasy football. I'm with you. That's about where I have it. And it's not a poo-poo Bijan take. It's just I can't draft him that high, man.
I mean, maybe Austin Eckler and Jonathan Taylor and Saquon Barkley and Christian McCaffrey and all those guys will get hurt, and then he will be RB 2 or 3.
But they're going to have to get out of the way first.
You still have Jonathan Taylor over Bijan?
In projections, yes. If I was drafting this second, I'd probably be a coward because I'm with the other 59%, I guess.
Yeah, I'm with you. Jay asks, if Joey finishes last, is he still out on the CBS mock tonight?
No.
That was actually one of the obligations he had to fulfill to be on the mock, was make sure that he didn't beat me on the show. So, yes, for sure.
They added in the last part, the last place part, just to really drive it home for you, Joey.
No feet, coming last.
Yeah, that's what the contract says.
Twin in here said, yo. What up, Twin? Welcome in. And we got One Nation in here asking Joey, after T. Higgins' recent comments about his contract, do you think he stays in Cincy or does he go after the money?
That would be after this year, correct? After this year, he can depart. Man, I picked Cincinnati to win the Super Bowl this year in January, and it's hard for me to come off of that. I think if Cincinnati were to win the Super Bowl, he could go one of 2 ways. Okay, he's never going to be higher value than he is now, and he might depart. I can't see that group breaking up in Cincinnati. I just can't at this point.
Yeah. Scampers in here said Superflex startup Jamar Chase or the 301. That's the first pick in the third round of a rookie draft. Olave, Andrews, Tua. I read this wrong. It's a startup draft.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah. Duh. It says startup at the beginning. Superflex startup draft. Chase or the first pick in the third round of the startup draft, which could be Olave, Andrews, Atua, and the 2024 first round rookie pick. How do you guys feel about this? Which side are you leaning towards?
The Superflex startup makes it a little bit interesting. The fact that it's Superflex and the hype around Caleb Williams, even if you don't necessarily want to draft him, that 24 first will appreciate in value. That being said, I don't know if Andrews plus a question mark value pick or, man, it's tough. It's tough. It's tough right there. I think I'm on the pick side. I do think I'm on the pick side because Tua plus that 24 first would be more than enough to make up for Chase in a super flex league for me.
I don't want to trade Jamar Chase.
You can't make me.
No other words necessary.
That's kind of where I'm at. Like, I'm not super high on Olave to begin with. Now, I think he could have a great career. I guess that's more of a redraft mindset. But Jamar Chase is Jamar Chase, and I don't want to give that up.
I think me being
because you don't know if that's the number one overall pick with a 2024 pick. If it's the number one overall pick and you know you're getting Caleb Williams, then it's very interesting. But
I think myself being higher on Tua is probably what leads me to the pick side here. I'm viewing him as like almost one of the top tier dynasty quarterbacks. His biggest question mark is his health, but all reports coming out are that he's not in as bad of shape with his concussions as previously thought, and he's taking active steps to counteract that. If he's not one hit away from leaving the league, he probably should be considered up with those other quarterbacks. And so that's how I'm tending to value him right now.
Now, I saw Tua talking about this, and if I understand correctly, the thing that he has done to combat the concussions is learn how to do backward somersaults.
I believe that is correct, but a good backward somersault, well placed, could prevent something. You have any idea how many times I've gotten out of trouble with a backward somersault? I'm in the kitchen. My fiance's like, "Did you do the dishes?" And I just backward somersault out of there.
IRS hasn't found me in years. All right, let's get into our next poll here. Let's see, which one was that? That was Joey's second poll. So, Heath, this one is yours. In a dynasty PPR, who would you pick? Kendre Miller, Devon Achane, or Zach Charbonnet? What percentage of the public chose Kendre Miller in this poll?
Oh, man. This is more my bias is going to creep in. 7? That's probably too low and makes it too easy on these guys.
Follow your heart, man.
12. No.
12.
11.
11. Locking that in?
I'm locking it in 11.
All right, 11%. Simon. Oh, yeah, Simon, you do the actual percentage. Over, under, way over, or way under, exactly even, with Heath's guess of 11%.
Feels like there's players that get really hot for like a week or two, and then people are done with being into them. And Kendre Miller feels like that player. And I think the Alvin Kamara legal news that came out, even though it does not rule out a suspension, kind of took the air out of the tires of the Kendre Miller excitement. I'm with Heath that it's low. And I think there's some real hype around Achane and Charbonnet right now. I think the answer is probably around 7. So I'm going to take the under.
Taking the under.
Just trolling me.
Simon taking the under. All right, Joe, you think the actual percentage chose Kendre Miller in this poll was over, under, way under, exactly even, with Heath's guess of 11%.
I have made my name in this industry off of riding off of the CBS FFT cruise coattails, so I will continue to do so. Queen B.
Queen B. You locking
Queen
that in?
B in it. I think it's a really good guess. I don't think there's a lot of room for error. I think it might be a little bit under, but I'm also playing the game here a little bit, and I need some points. So Queen B would get me 10 points.
All right, Joey locking in Queen B. We got some guesses here in the chat. We got 62% from NKC, 24% from One Nation, 35% from Craig, 21% from Dustin.
Okay.
I think that's all we got in the chat right now. It's a little all over the place. Yeah, all over the place. Let's pull this back up. In a Dynasty PPR, who would you
read it wrong?
pick? Kendre Miller, A-Chain, or Charbonnet? Heath, you said 11% chose Kendre Miller in this poll. Simon guessed the under, and Joey guessed the queen bee. The actual percentage of people who chose side A in this poll was
58.
Close, 51%.
I knew it. As soon as I saw those answers in the chat, I was like, we're off.
51%.
What?
1,600 votes. This isn't a sample size issue. The only thing I could think of is next year, who's got the best situation? And Kendre Miller is the guy that probably stands out. Maybe if you believe in the Texans.
I know what you mean though. Yeah, like
I guess that wasn't a bad result, but that was wow. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm just
a little shocking.
I had to double check that Kendre Miller didn't have like a round earlier draft capital or something than these guys, because but they all went in the same range. Every single one of these guys was drafted within the same range of the third round, I believe. Yeah, all of them sitting there like in the. Kendre Miller was in the third round. Jack Charbonnet was end of the second, and then Devon A-Chain end of the third. I look at this year's opportunity, and it seems better for both A-Chain and Charbonnet. And with running backs, I feel like you got to look for immediate output from those guys on your team.
Yeah.
Well,
which of these guys are you most intrigued by, Heath?
am I combined like 80% off on my two guesses? What a terrible, terrible performance. I go back and forth between A-Chain and Charbonnet. I've got both of them at back of the first round rookie only picks. I don't have Miller in my first round in rookie only drafts right now.
Because he's too little.
I think I just don't know. Like even this year, if Alvin Kamara's missing time, like Jamal Williams is still going to steal all the touchdowns.
Right.
And I think you're right. Like with these running backs, with what the NFL has shown us the last 4 months, you better care about this year a lot more than you care about anything else. I've gone back and forth. Right now, I'd probably take A-Chain just because of that indefinite tag on the Charbonnet shoulder. But those two guys are right there for me.
I've been rising on Charbonnet this offseason. He's the player like that I was excited about. Then he got drafted to the Seahawks. It deflated my excitement. And then the more I look into it, the more I'm just think Walker got screwed by that draft pick, and Charbonnet is going to be the dude.
I think that their skill sets fit very well because Walker's the home run hitter, but I think Charbonnet is better in short yardage, and I think he's better on passing downs. And so I do think that Walker, it could really, really hurt him. He's gonna have to score a lot of long touchdowns.
All right. Well, Heath, you were retaining your lead here, 6-4-3.
What's the lowest scoring winning total ever in this game? Because I feel like
I think we had one that was under.
It might have been last week.
Yeah. Craig, let us know if you have those in the records. All right, this next one, Simon, is yours. You ready?
Let's do it.
All right, if you knew Joe Burrow was going to miss 2 to 4 games due to his calf injury, where would you draft Jamar Chase? Between the 101 and the 103? Between the 104 and the 107? Between the 108 and the 112? Or D, too risky? What percentage of the vote chose A, 101 to 103?
2 games without Joe Burrow. Count me out on the best wide receiver in the NFL. I don't even want to deal with that. Too risky. Now, honestly, this shouldn't move Jamar Chase's draft value all that much. He's still Jamar Chase. Sure, it lowers his upside for those couple of games because the Cincinnati offense probably won't be as good without Joe Burrow, but the good that does appear on the field will probably appear in the hands of Jamar Chase. So you got that going for you. I don't think he was going 101 to 103 very often anyways. So even though I just said all those good things, like when he's going in the middle to back of the first round, that's probably where he's going to stay. I'll say 19% said, no, I'm going to say, I don't think anyone said too risky though. But I feel like it's all going to be concentrated on B and C. 19%.
19%, locking that in?
Lock it in. Yeah.
All right, 19% locked in. Heath, do you think the actual percentage of people who chose side A, 101 to 103 in this poll was over, under? way over, way under, or exactly even with Simon's guess of 19%?
I think it's a really good guess. I'm going to go with over.
Going with over. Oop, and I was supposed to go to Joey first, but that's fine. Joey, you think the actual percentage of people is over, under, way under, exactly even Simon's guess of 19%?
So it'd have to be 35% to be way over. Correct? Math.
It would have to be 35% or higher.
Okay.
Good job, Joey. That was good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, 20 is close to 19, and then you add 15.
You know, you were a math guy.
Well, you know, I live in Florida, so what do you expect? I'm going to go with just over. I don't have the guts to do it.
You're going to go with the over, locking that in?
Yeah, I mean, I do think people are drafting Jamar Chase with either the first, second, or third pick.
Yeah.
He's Cooper Kupp's my second wide receiver, and Jefferson at 1, but that very well could be Chase as well. So yeah, I think A is going to get some votes, just not. Yeah.
All right.
I think I'm going to lose the lead here.
We'll see. We'll see. Simon, you guess 19% of people chose side A in this poll. We got some yeses in the chat.
But they do not agree with me in the chat.
99% from One Nation. 81% from Scampers. 34% from NKC. 78% from Twin.
Oh, man.
And Scampers' alternate answer is 33%. There you go.
We can submit alternates.
I guess. I didn't know.
Can we start over, please?
Why didn't anyone let me know?
I don't know. Blame Jay. All right.
Good
Simon,
call.
you guessed 19% of people chose side A in this poll, and both Joey and Heath chose the over. The actual percentage was 34%.
Okay, I get a point, baby.
Points away, so you're still gonna get a point here.
I would have been so upset.
Also, I see NKC down here saying 85, not 34. 85. I said 85. No, say 34, NKC. It's the right answer.
Sorry.
You were right the first time.
Limited amount of time to read the comments. All right.
You said 30. That was while you were about to give the answer. NKC was trying to correct you that they wanted to change it to 85.
Oh, I see. Oh, this is going to make things interesting. Simon, you're going to have now 5 points because you got 1 point on that. Joey, you are also going to have 5 points because you got 2 points on that. And Heath, you also got 2 points, so you'll bring you up to 8. So whoever gets the closest, the closest on the final poll is going to win this game. This final round is going to work a little differently than the previous rounds. Each contestant is going to write down a percentage guess. Whichever contestant is the closest to the actual answer, they're going to get 5 points. If any of the contestants have the same answer, they're going to share the same fate. Heath, did you find something to write with, or a phone, or your feet?
I found a pen, and I have a yellow legal pad here. I'm ready to go.
Perfect. All right. Your final poll, contestants. If you go in a swimming pool, does that count as getting clean, allowing you to skip a shower or a bath? Yes or no? What percentage of the public chose yes in this poll?
I wish this question was what percentage of the time is the answer yes, not what percentage of the public. Because, it depends, man. What am I doing next?
This is another one where I really wish that I knew the person who posted it so I could just kind of take a look at their followers. But I'm going to assume it was a fantasy football account.
That is not a safe assumption on this show.
Yeah. Is this a salt-based pool or a chlorine-based pool?
They didn't specify.
Which one's cleaner?
I don't know if you can believe that.
One's less harsh?
One's like saline. Right? Isn't that what a salt-based pool basically is making? Is saline?
Sure. That sounds pretty
good.
I think so.
Because they say you can open your eyes in the water with a salt-based pool. So I think it's saline solution.
I will say.
Am I wrong? That's the dumbest thing I've said on this show.
Having long hair for the first time in my life, it changed the way I interact with showering and pools.
I have to answer this question.
Good to know. Got some good guesses here in the chat.
Oh gosh.
God,
What
some
Nation says
of these
depends on
fantasy
how dirty
football
you
logos
are.
nasty. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I don't know.
I'm scratched out so many numbers here.
Yeah.
They're gonna look at your notebook and think you're Jim Carrey from that movie, The Number 23.
Yes.
Good movie.
What percentage people said yes?
All right, contestants.
That's his funniest movie. A lot of people agree with me on
It's
that, though.
funniest movie.
Which one?
What a
number
ridiculously
20.
unnecessary shot at Jim Carrey.
You know what? I'm changing it one more time.
Please tell me you just flipped papers because you ran out of room on the first one.
That's accurate.
No one you guys can see through it because I wrote in Sharpie. Dang it. I got mine.
Showing them.
And I have a question that says, would you rather have out of control body hair or have your sweat smell like cheese? So I'm going to be thinking about that for the rest of the day.
God. Would I rather be Tim or would I rather smell like cheese?
Would you rather be Joey?
All right, contestants.
Oh, that's unnecessary. Yeah, I'm good. I'm ready to go.
Heath?
Sure.
You sure?
They're going to find out a lot about each other, too.
All right.
All right, let's do it. Go ahead and reveal your guesses.
Oh, no.
48% from Joey, 51% from Heath, and 26% from Simon.
Gosh, I was hoping.
We boxed Joey in, at least. You took away his upper limit.
Yeah, that feels good.
But Heath, you've got quite a range on your side to get this right.
Depends on
you were 48.
Yeah, I was 48.
So
48.
basically, as long as it was 50 or higher, I've got it.
If it was
correct,
yeah. If it's 50 or higher, you got it. I'm not doing the one.
Nobody in the chat thinks it's good, so that's disappointing. But
the chat's all over the place on this one. They have no idea what they're doing. 25% from Craig, 54% from One Nation. All right, Simon gets 26%. Heath, you guess 51%. Joey, you guess 48% on this poll. If you go swimming in a pool, does that count as getting clean, allowing you to skip taking a shower or a bath? The actual percentage of people who chose yes in this poll was 19%. Simon,
yes!
Wow.
Stinky cowboy.
I'm a stinky cowboy with a W under his belt. Yeehaw.
Big old dub.
Whew, I needed that. My confidence was shook after the last time we played Bowl Perception.
2 points.
Do you guys remember when Mike Tyson went to Japan and got beat and everyone was shocked?
No.
I don't remember at all.
Heath fell.
I don't think I was.
Heath, do you remember that?
Are you calling Simon Buster Douglas?
And I'm calling you Mike Tyson. That's a
thank
nice
you.
thing to say, isn't it? Yeah, okay.
Buster Douglas.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
It's mostly a nice thing to say. Well, guys, that is going to be it for us today. But before we go, a huge thank you to our guest, Heath, for taking the time to come on. Heath, it is always a pleasure getting to hang with you, my friend, and we appreciate you coming and playing some games with us.
Thank you guys for having me. This is, I say it every time that I come on, and it's still true. This is the most fun podcast that I get to come and guest on. Thank you guys for having me.
We'll really appreciate that. Well, guys, tonight, if you're not sick of Heath and Joey yet, which you're probably only sick of half of that duo, head on over to the CBS YouTube channel at 8 p.m. Eastern time to watch the CBS Fantasy Football Today crew for a mock draft. That is going to be it for us today here, but we'll be back tomorrow for the Fantasy Football Game Show. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Thank you, John Luke, for a gorgeous game. Thank you, Joey, for getting hot in a soccer top. And thank you, Heath, once again for coming on with us. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Adios, everyone.
Thank you, Simon, for being the best host this side of the Mississippi.